Hi, I'm Nancy Marie Peterson, your Intentional Mom Coach, and I want to share with you how to create a family mission statement. But first, what is a family mission statement? Basically, it is just a vision of what your family represents. Or another way to say it is, it's who your family is at their very core. Stephen Covey puts it this way: a family mission statement is a combined, unified expression from all family members of what your family is all about, what it is you really want to do and be, and the principles you choose to govern your family life. Now, creating a family mission statement should be unique for your family, which gives you tons of freedom. It won't look like anybody else's because your family doesn't look like anybody else's. Your family is one of a kind. God has designed your family and given its gifts and talents that are unique to just your family. So there are so many different ways to create a mission statement. I want you to resist that box and don't stay in the box. Break out of it and come up with what really represents who your family is. The only requirement is that you stay true to who your family is. Sometimes I want to be like another family, or I want to have what they have, but that isn't the giftings that I have. And I have to break out of that concept or that comparison, whatever that is, and go back to who is my family? What are the gifts and talents that God has put inside of us? So your mission statement already exists. You just need to put it into words. Now, years ago, I would love to say I was real intentional and I prayed about it and I came up with the mission statement and voila, there it is. That's not the way it happened for our family. Basically, I was homeschooling our kids and I was getting exhausted and overwhelmed while homeschooling. So I posted on the walls, Petersons don't whine and Petersons can do, because I was so tired of this whining and this, I can't do it, I don't understand. And years, about, 6 months in, my kids are like, Petersons can do, and I would say, Petersons what? Petersons can do. And it became our mission statement. And then I sat back and I thought, is that really what I want us to represent? And I had to back up and think, I can do better than that. We can get a creative mission statement. So I started researching, and I get a little obsessive with this whole thing. So I was doing a ton of researching and what should a mission statement look like? And I had this formula that I thought it should go with. And that's why I want to teach you guys to break out of that box. And there isn't a formula. There isn't a right way to do it. It's just what way you want to do it is the right way. So it took about a year for us to morph it into what it now kind of exists today. It is as basic as ABC. Now, not as easy, but it is as basic as ABC. The first one is A, ask God. Ask Him. He's the creator of you. He created your family. What are your unique talents? Ask Him to give you wisdom, to help you unfold this. Ask your kids. Your kids are powerhouses. Their prayers are so pure, and their faith is just beyond sometimes what our faiths are, what our faith is like. So ask them, have them pray about it, and what do they think as a family, and what do they feel your values are as a family, or your calling as a family. So the first one is A, ask God. B is brainstorm. Now this is where you ask a whole bunch of questions. Tons and tons and tons of questions, and you're going to come up with a bunch of list of different values. And I have a whole list of those questions, but here's just some of them. What is the purpose of your family? What kind of family do you want to be? What is your core value, your calling, your goals? What makes your family unique? What are some of your priorities? What do you appreciate in other families that you really want to emulate or be like? What are some of your strengths of a family? What inspires you and why? What do you do that other families don't do? What kind of relationships do you want to have with each other? There are so many questions, could go on. And then identify your top values as a family. So this is what word describes your family. Is it adventurous? Is it faithful? Is it humorous? Is it service-driven? Is it hospitable? Is it generous? What words describe your family? Circle those words and come up with what words stand out and what words continually have a theme that kind of goes around it. There's a worksheet, and I'll post it down there so you can get a worksheet for free, and it will help you come up with your values. So B is brainstorm. C is create your legacy. Now there's 3 different ways that you can unfold this. I kind of started out with the harder one, and that is creating your family mission statement. So this is the challenging part, putting it into words. Now these following steps will hopefully get your juices flowing. So the first step is use that list that I gave you of all the different ideas and values and all those questions, and start highlighting it. And then start looking for some common themes that keep reoccurring, and then kind of which words resonate most with you. So step 2 is take that list and break it down to your top 5 values. What are the top 5 values? There's a lot of good values and there's a lot of good things that we all want to have, but what are your top 5? And then develop those top 5, kind of start developing them into phrases. Step 3 is spend 30 minutes, only 30 minutes. If you're like me, you could spend hours, days, weeks researching other families and what theirs look like. But go and research, go to Pinterest. I'll give you some links to go to. If you go to my blog, you'll see this whole article written out. But come up with some different ways and which ways kind of energize you. Oh, I like the way this one was done. And so you'll kind of get a flow of how you want to put yours together. That's step 3. Step 4, put something on paper. Just write it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be real flurry or fluffy or whatever. Just put something, a starting point. From there, you're going to tweak it and it will begin to take its form. And the 5th one is to talk about it as a family and then make modifications, then memorize it and celebrate it as a family. Now keep pressing on. Now if you're a perfectionist, resist the urge to get it perfectly right. Get some concepts down so it will unleash your creative mind. So that's number 1 in creating your legacy. The first one is a family mission statement. Another way to do it is through a family slogan. So this is a saying that is true for your family, but some people have done like choose joy or live in the moment or live, love, learn. It can be fluid because your family is constantly changing, but it's simple ways that targets kind of some of your values as a family. So that's a family slogan. And another way you can do it, a third way you can do it is having a family verse. So this is a verse that encompasses your family's goals and values. You could do a verse a year, or you could do one that you just stick with for 20 years. So you'd have a family verse, a family slogan, and a family mission statement. You don't have to do all of them. Pick maybe one of them. Maybe one of them is how you want to do your legacy. Maybe you don't want to get so overwhelmed. Maybe you want to do all 3. Start with one of those. Which one of those really sparks your interest? So start with, if the slogan is, start with the slogan. Remember, there is no right way to do this. So that was C, create your legacy, and D is display it or to demonstrate it. So this is where you're going to write it, see it, and live it. So display it where you can see it. It can be printed off and put in a nice frame by your front door. It can be your screensaver. For me, I have what I refer to as my mom manual, and on the very back it has our mission statement on it. We've also had it stenciled and put on our wall. So my kids could see it was right by our kitchen table and they could see it every day. It was there for them to visualize it because that's what will help them memorize it and to keep it. So after researching tons of family statements, I broke out of the box and did ours completely different. I haven't seen anyone done like ours, and that's my hope for you. Create whatever works best for your family. The goal is to create a clear, compelling vision of what you and your family are all about. Now here's some examples to get your creative juices flowing. Now for ours is, our mission statement is the words L-I-F-E. It's life, live intentionally for eternity. And my kids know that we speak life, we live life, and we love life with our attitude and our heart. So we've broken it down. I have verses that go with that. I have training about that. We speak life. So my kids are being negative with each other. I'm like, Peterson speak life. So that's kind of our launching pad. And our slogan is people should be better off because they've been in the presence of a Peterson. And I also say we're blessed to be a blessing. So I kind of have 2 slogans, but those are kind of what we do. So there's more examples here. It's we work together, we play together, we pray together. The Art of Manliness has, may our first words be adventure and our last words be love. That's it. That's their mission statement. Or you can do your name, like the Peterson family will, in order to serve blah, blank, in such a way that we blank. That's it. Just fill in those blanks. Or you can do it, in this house we love without limits, we pray without ceasing, we believe without doubting. You can say, in this house we, and list all the things that you're going to do. Here's some resources that I want to share with you. 2 of them are from Stephen Covey. They're the 7 habits of a highly effective family and how to develop your personal mission statement. The other book is from Patrick, and I've even kind of met him, but I cannot say his last name. And it's the 3 big questions for a frantic family. Excellent book that goes even deeper into the values and what your family really represents. There's different website articles that I'll link that you can get to. But here's the point. In case you haven't picked it up yet, I love intentionality. I love to be intentional. I won't pretend this was easy. I won't pretend that, I just whipped it out, but it is so worth it. My prayer is that you're going to take time to create your unique family mission statement. Your family, whether it's 1 or 20, it has a purpose. God has a distinct plan for your family. Dream with Him. Drafting a vision and a statement allows you to have focus. It knows where you're going and when you're going to know if you get there because you're working on it. The world needs all kinds of families. Whether your family is generous, fun, justice-driven, courageous, kind, what you fill in the blank. What is your family? But the only thing is you need to make sure you stay true to the qualities and the characteristics and the gifts and talents that God has given your family, because it is what we need. It is what the world needs. It's what is unique to just you. Now, the only limits are the limits you put on it. And God created family on purpose for a purpose. So I hope I've challenged you and I've given you strategic ways to create your own family mission statement. I want to end with this. The best way to predict the future is to create it. So go create your family mission statement. Get intentional.